Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to part 2 of our end of 2018 Best Albums of the Year show. We're in Rock Fantasy, New York, in Middletown. Rock Fantasy in Middletown, New York, not Rock Fantasy, New York, with Nick Franco here. You saw him briefly on the first episode in this series. This is part 2. So what we're going to do is Nick's going to run down his top 20 of the year. I'm going to do you just heard my number 21 through 30. I'm going to do number 11 through 20. I'm going to save my top 10 for a future show right before the holidays. So I'm going to run through, like I said, 21 through 11. Actually, no, 11 through 20 we're going to do. So my number 20 pick here is, you probably never heard these guys, but you probably dig Griffin. Griffin, Reinvention. Griffin is an old prog band from the UK from the 70s. Who like kind of splintered and broke up for decades and got back together and put together this cool little gem. It's kind of folky, kind of proggy. It's very British sounding. It's awesome. I love it. Check it out. Number 19, Redemption. The latest from Redemption with new singer Thomas Englund from Evergrey. Taking over from the Fates Warning vocalist. It's quite good. Progressive metal at its finest. I just got this recently. This is awesome. It's probably one of the best Doom albums that came out this year. The self-titled From Pale Divine. It is so good. If you love like early Sabbath and Pentagram, it is so good. There's the guys right there. Look like a bunch of biker dudes. Man, it's so heavy. Great power trio Doom. Awesome stuff. All right, back to prog. Hidden Details from Soft Machine. Legendary British prog and jazz fusion band. Fantastic stuff. Next up, from Symphony X, Michael Romeo's solo album. Awesome progressive metal, great guitar work, great vocals. Love it. Progressive metal. We got a lot of prog metal stuff coming here. Tomorrow's Eve. This is the Mirror of Creation Part 3, Project Icarus. German progressive metal, awesome stuff. A lot of shredding guitars, great vocals. From Sweden, Seventh Wonder, Tiara. Well, you guys wondered what the singer from Camelot's been doing since Camelot's taking a little bit of a break right now. Actually, they put out a great album recently while he came back to his original band, and they put together this monster of a prog metal album. Wonderful stuff. From the UK, Haken, Vector, great progressive metal. Phenomenal album. Spock's Beard from the US, Noise Floor, more great prog. Spock's Beard never releases a bad album. You guys into Spock's Beard at all? Man,
heard of him.
What a great band. And at number 11, from Ireland, Primordial. We heard Steve talk about this in the last episode.
Right around my number.
Yeah, exactly. This, and I remember talking to him about this when this album first came out. The first couple of listens, I was like, yeah, I like it. I don't love it. And the more I listen to it, the more I
felt.
Yeah, now it's like I love it. So it was a little bit of a grower, but man, I dig it. So that's my number 11. So you'll get my top 10 in the next show, but now I'm going to turn it over to Nick.
All right.
He's going to run through his top 20 here.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, we're at the Awesome Rock Fantasy in Middletown. Don't forget to go there. I have, once again, I'm a little short on props, but I'll do my best with my descriptions. I'm going to do top 20 here. Number 20, there's a band from the UK called Solstice, and they made an album called White Horse Hill. They are sparsely released albums. Their sound can be described as like an epic traditional metal, a little bit of doom, phenomenal vocals, phenomenal guitar riffs. Not a moment's filler on the album.
That sounds good. I need to check that out.
You would love it. Yeah, Solstice is amazing and underrated. Then, from Virginia, the band Deceased, old school horror, death metal, thrash. They returned with their first full length since 2011. This one is called Ghostly White. They just suffered the loss of their drummer, died tragically. So, R.I.P. to him and his family. But what better way to tribute than to listen to their new album, which is really just... They can write 8 or 9 minute thrash death metal songs that keep your interest. They're really something else.
Sounds good.
Yep. And then I have a prop. As we've been talked about today, Satan, which can sometimes be misspelled, and not Santa, Satan.
Santa.
They're probably the least satanic band named Satan you'll ever meet. This is new wave of British heavy metal pioneers. Songwriting quality. 2 members of the band Skyclad. They're all from England.
The guitar work on this album,
It's unbelievable.
Off the
It's
charts. The
unbelievable.
arrangements, so good.
You just got to listen to it. Just the guitar work alone is just to die for. So moving along, there's a band called Violet Cold. I guess the term is shoegaze. I don't like that term because, as I wrote in a review about it, you don't want to look down at your shoes when you listen to this. You want to look at the sky. You want to look within. Really long songs, almost soundtrack-ish. Just metal enough to be metal. Violet Cold. It's 3 albums in one. Summer Morgan, parts 1 through 3. Check it out. Headphone music late at night. Really, really well constructed. Doesn't bore you at all.
It's important.
Yeah. Next, the band Mare from Norway, Ebony Tower. It's out on Territor Possessions, which is a very good underground label. Mare is old school Norwegian black metal, really good, different style vocals on it to keep things interesting. Then we have a project called Hugsha. The album is called Hugsha. It's by 2 men, Ivar Bjornsson and Einar Selvik, who you more extreme metal fans might remember from Enslaved and Wardruna. Wardruna is the guy who makes the music, part of the music for the show Vikings. So that might bring it to people who aren't so interested. It's like that Viking-style soundtrack music meets like pagan metal. Cool.
Interesting album.
Yeah,
I heard it once.
great vocals, like really, yeah. Then an international band from all over the place. I know they're partly from Italy. They're from all over the place, their members, but it's called Sojourner, The Shadowed Road. It's probably like if Blind Guardian wrote like black metal, folk metal. Like it's really, there's unique instrumentation, some female vocals. It still packs a punch. Really, really something to get into. Also from Norway, Kor Skorpi is the name of the band. It's a Latin phrase. The album is called Ruin. Kor Skorpi features the keyboardist of pagan black metal band Windir, which dissolved after their singer died. If you think black metal can't have really great riffs and really great it's almost like you're listening to classical music that's metal. That's the only way I could put it. It's like Wagner on speed. And of course Scorpio continues that tradition. Really, really good stuff. Harsh vocals, but not like unbearably harsh. After that, also on Territor Possessions, the band Whoredom Rife. I think I featured them one time because I remember we were stumbling over the name. Whoredom Rife, their new album is called Nid. Hymner of Hot. It's pretty rough black metal, but well produced. And if you don't mind that type of blast beat sound, they have enough variation in their songwriting that's really good. Then we have once again, as we mentioned earlier in the other video, Visigoth from Salt Lake City. Their second album, Conqueror's Oath. I don't understand how guys who only have 2 albums out can write an album this good.
Top-notch traditional metal, man.
It's like everything you loved about Manowar, just really epic, fist in the air. These guys grew up playing Dungeons and Dragons and let's write music about it. They're unapologetic about it, and we need that in metal.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, enough of this hipster shit. All right. Then from Norway, and also with a singer from England, is called In the Woods. They are another band that's been around a really long time, took a long time off and did other things and got back together, different lineup. Their album Seize the Day is more progressive metal, but they put a little more balls into it. There's some more death metal vocals and some double bass, but the songs flow. So you got some nicer, quieter parts and then heavier parts mixed in. And I like that. I like when bands know how to do that and they know how to do it. Now, as we mentioned in the other video, we're all fans of the band Uada from Oregon. They're another band that this is their second official full length, and it's black metal, but it's in the style of, and they're often accused of sounding too much like Mgła from Poland. It's a very epic style of black metal, featuring a lot of parts you can really bang your head to, not just blast beats. Yeah, not just blast beats, and again, dynamics. Catastrophically good vocals. Just, I don't know how anybody doesn't like this band. Coming back, also in the States, an American black metal band called Panopticon, out on Nordvis Records, The Scars of Man, Part 1 and 2.
I love that name, Panopticon.
Yeah, named after a medieval prison dungeon thing. Austin Loon is the main man behind it. The first disc is crushing epic black metal. but they've been known for using like fiddles and Americana folk into their music, so there's a little bit of that. The second disc is all dark folk music that is just so good. My man's voice is just rich, and wow, you want to take a walk in the woods in the snow and listen to that without a doubt. Moving on, Germany's they're not really they're underrated. They're called Hellrunar. This is a little box set they came with.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Hellrunar is they sing entirely in German for the most part, and the music could best be described as black metal with rock and roll kind of soul. Really, they really lay it down. It's hard to put it to words. You just got to listen to it. Very heavy, but they know how to write a song. So you're going on an adventure with each song. Definitely don't miss it. Hellrunar. And then moving on, let's see. Well, there's a Finnish black metal band and a Norwegian black metal band, both of whom Swedish and Finnish. I drank a lot last night. I'm a little hungover, so the thoughts are not coming as quickly as they might. Just remember this.
He's going to get through it, though.
Yeah, just remember Stilla from Sweden and Sargeist from Finland.
Sargeist.
You will have to look really hard to find. I think they are some of the best black metal releases of the year.
Rock Fantasy doesn't have them.
Yeah, he'll try to get them. But without a doubt, Stilla and Sargeist. If you like black metal, epic compositioning, really, really like evil sounds, they're amazing. Now to Norway. Einherjar, or as Einherjar, I guess. Einherjar has been around a very long time. Came up in the Norwegian, the 90s with all that black metal stuff going on. Their music has always been more of the pagan folk style, but not the silly like Korpiklani type stuff that everybody's heard of. This is like it's really gritty stuff, but melodies. I don't know where these guys come up with these melodies. It's Viking metal, but it's different. It's not a monomorph either. It's not just melodic death metal singing about Vikings. This is music made from the soul of that era and that type of expression. So
pretty cool. Most of those other bands you mentioned, I've tired of long ago.
Yeah, Einherjar is such a shot in the arm to that type of Viking metal stuff. Really, really great stuff. And keeping in that realm, there's a band that will no longer be producing albums called, I don't even know how to say it, it's called Panphage, Panphage. It's one guy from rural Sweden, and he makes it all himself. Again, epic melodies, shout-along vocals. It's black metal, but it doesn't say, oh, this is definitely black metal. There's a lot of different elements to it. They're underrated. It's once again out on the wonderful Nordvis Records label. Definitely check out Panphage. The new album is called Jord, Jord. Yeah, yep. And it is obscure, but I'm telling you, you're not going to be sorry because what quality! I mean, this guy doesn't tour. I don't think he just makes music. Now that brings us to our top two. I
got to say, I'm not surprised with either of these two for you.
Yep. Primordial has been and remains one of my favorite bands in existence. Not the easiest band to classify. It's hard to get a sense of this, but really good artwork inside here.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, very well worth it. This special edition here.
Yeah, I'll have that one.
Yeah. So, yeah, you got So each song is better than the last. And we were referencing before that Upon Our Spiritual Deathbed, Stolen Years, and Sunken Lungs. Those three songs in a row. Yeah. Your heart's going to be up here when you're listening to it. I don't know how these guys do it. They just write such quality songs.
You're absolutely right. How do they? You really can't classify them because they kind of started out. They were kind of like a black metal band, but they're just metal, right? It's like
they have they're definitely one of those bands that has their own signature sound.
Yeah,
and that's not easy to do.
No.
And they're not overly. It's 3-4 years between albums. Usually, they're not. Actually, no. Now they've got it down to like 2 years between albums. They're in a very productive mode. So yeah,
they come to the States.
I know. They're the singer Alan Averill. His voice is just. It catches your heart.
Yeah,
it's amazing. Clean vocals mostly. Some death metal vocals.
I saw them once on a pagan fest. That's the only guy I ever saw.
Oh yeah. I've seen them. I've been lucky enough.
That's Steve Keeler talking.
Steve Keeler.
He's off camera.
He's the king of the north. Yeah. So Primordial.
King of the North. They're the kings of Ireland.
Number one, we got the same for both of these guys.
Yeah, Amorphous, Queen of Time. I have become the same way you were saying you hung out with Behemoth. I have been fortunate enough to become friends with Amorphous over the years, and
You introduced me to.
yep, they are quality human beings. They're working with a producer called Jens Bogren, and he's produced a lot of albums. And I think he's one of those producers that can get the most out of a band, take their raw materials and just really do it, because they've been going from strength to strength. And Queen of Time, I mean, I'm more particular to the Golden Elk, Wrong Direction, Heart of the Giant. Choruses, unforgettable choruses. I don't know how they write choruses this good. Melody lines are for days. And one thing I want to point out about Amorphous is
Those bonus tracks are great.
I don't think anybody writes better bonus tracks.
Yeah,
than
they're really
Amorphous.
just as strong as everything else on there, right?
It's crazy. Yeah, brother and sister, just a melodic tour de force. So there you have it. Queen of Time tops the list. But don't forget to check out the ones I didn't have props for also, because they need props.
So from Rock Fantasy, I am Pete Pardo, and Nick Franco, thanks again for joining us.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
And stay tuned for my top 10 coming up in just a couple days. But we want to thank Steve Keeler for having us.
The King of the North.
King of the North, Rock Fantasy, Middletown, New York. Have a happy holidays, everybody. Take care.
Stay safe.
Bye-bye.
That was easy.